Supreme Court has decided it won't hear the appeal of Kentucky House Bill 2, which is the forced ultrasound law. So if a woman is, and there's only one, I guess, one last clinic that performs abortions in Kentucky. When women go to that clinic seeking an abortion, they first have to have an ultrasound first, where the doctor is now required by law to narrate what's going on in the ultrasound, even if the patient receiving these services objects to them. The doctor still has to narrate this. And obviously, there's no medical reason for this to happen. It's just another way to try to shame and, put more guilt on these people that are, wanting to have abortions in hopes that they won't have them anymore, which is just really, just disgusting on so many levels. The state should not be putting these just totally draconian requirements on healthcare providers with regards to, women seeking abortion. And it's just, also very, ironic that, the religious right, the right conservatives, Christian conservatives claim to want to get, government out of people's lives, and yet they are backing this, forced ultrasound law in Kentucky, where the law is coming in between a patient and their doctor, requiring a doctor to narrate what they're seeing on the ultrasound to the patient, even when the patient doesn't want to see that. So how do people on the religious right not see that as government interference into healthcare, into women's healthcare? And this even, the doctors still have to narrate this, even if you know, if the fetus is completely unviable, if it's got some type of genetic mutation or something like that going on. And the Supreme Court, as I stated in the beginning, declined to hear this appeal. So as it stands now, the forced ultrasound law in Kentucky will go into effect unless there is another case that is brought through the courts, which hopefully happens, and then it can make its way through the appellate court system, and hopefully one of those courts would overturn this, just because it's a totally ridiculous and intrusive and unnecessary law. And it's just another example of the religious right, the religious conservative political forces in this country trying to force their ideology into healthcare, into women's healthcare. And I'm fine with people having their own religious beliefs and value systems, but you should not be using that to infringe upon women's healthcare and their right to seek abortions, and then when they do, trying to guilt them into not getting them, or make them feel shameful about it, so they wouldn't maybe access them in the future because they have to go through this process. And that's just very disgusting and troubling on so many levels. And like I said, I hope it gets adjudicated through the court system and gets thrown out, because it's completely ridiculous and unnecessary, and we need to get religious dogma out of what is basically an issue between a woman and their doctor. And that's basically all it needs to be. Peace.